Welcome to the Marshfield School Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 13th. Mrs. Pazerski, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Dargan?
Here.
Mr. Greer?
Here.
Mrs. Bree?
Here.
Mr. Costello? And Ms. Stetson.
Mr. Costello and Ms. Stenson apologize they cannot make it tonight. Will you all please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? The flag is hiding behind the TV over there. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to skip the Peace Builders Pledge today because I don't have it in front of me and I do not have it memorized. Oh, look at you. All right. They knew I was coming. Here we go. I am a peace builder. I pledge to praise people, to give up put downs, to seek wise people, to notice and speak up about hurts I have caused, to right wrongs, to help others. I will build peace at home, at school, and in my community each day. Rich doesn't know it either.
I haven't said it once in 11 years.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for being here tonight. We are going to go right into our spotlight on excellence. We have our MPSD Art and Tech Fair.
Yes, actually, I was going to just cover that in my information.
Okay.
But I had some issues downloading some of the pictures.
Okay.
So we're going to skip that part. But let me just say how proud I was of the artists and the people who worked with the boat building, woodworking, our technology group. It's truly an amazing show of the talent we have in Marshfield. And if anybody goes into the gymnasium at this stage, you'll be able to see it. So it's truly a wonderful thing, and I hope all the school committee get a chance to see it. And I don't know if you had any comments on what you saw, because it was pretty impressive.
It's until 8 o'clock tonight, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, awesome. It's just one night, right? Yeah. bummer.
It's running during the school day, but that's
Only for students, yeah. Yeah, so it's not open to the public. I was only able to make it for a few minutes, but I was saying when I walked in here that the little cafe here that's set up on the side, that's amazing. It looks so good. And I actually took a picture of the hockey table. My son's an avid hockey player, and I was like, "Ooh, is that for sale?" I'd love to buy that for him. Super cool. Did you guys have a chance to walk through?
We did, yeah. Very, very impressive. It gets better every year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to get this boat. Did you see the one with the center console?
I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'm
awesome.
liking it.
I love it, and I was happy to point out all the MEF grant recipients that were in there, and I was happy to see robotics come back, because I remember it coming years ago, and then we didn't have it for a while, and so it's fun, and they've shot the PVC pipe at me, and I tried to catch it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite nights, and the elementary school kids are so excited to show their art, and it's a great community. I love it.
Yeah.
And then the robot too, right?
Yeah, it's a shot
Was
the
was that the
PVC
whole
pipe
school
at me.
council that did that?
that's the robotics club.
Yeah, but they're all on the school council, right?
Oh, the same kids?
Oh, a couple, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Representation from the school council, yes. Elijah's on that team.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so much talent that I definitely don't have. It's amazing to me that people are that creative. So awesome. All right. Did you want to add anything? About
this
the
particular
tech fair? Yeah. Art and tech fair. You want to say anything?
It's incredibly impressive. I think from my perspective, popping into the classes as students are creating and building and then being able to see the final product, for me is really exciting, especially some of the AP art portfolio that are thematic in nature, and they've just submitted their portfolios recently, so just seeing their final products and learning about their themes is really interesting. But I like that it's not just art, it includes robotics, it includes our technical program, so it's all inclusive in that way. It just kind of showcases all the wonderful things going on in the real comprehensive nature of our high school, which is outstanding.
And I should say, in line with what we have today, a lot of it was sponsored by our MEF, and did a lot of work to help promote what you saw in there, so I'm glad you get a chance to see it.
Awesome.
Maybe with the new mixer, they can add culinary arts into next year's. Yeah.
Cook up a storm and then.
Yeah,
Ooh.
a cookie table.
Mixer.
Yeah.
Psyched about that.
I love that. Awesome. We are going to get to MEF in just a few minutes, but I'm going to take our student representatives first. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good.
I apologize, Lily couldn't make it today, so I'll just take over and start straight from the middle school.
Sure.
So tonight, May 13th, the 6th grade band, orchestra, and choir are all performing pieces that they've been working on since March in spring concert. This past Friday, we were joined by members of our Marshfield Police and Fire Department to welcome students with High Five Friday, a tradition in Marshfield. We're so fortunate to have outstanding partnerships with our community leaders, keeping us safe every day. Getting a head start on the 8th grade formal dance, 8th grade advisor Megan Segala is putting together a special tribute video. When finished, this will be shown to the 8th graders in June at a grade-wide dance called Class Night. We wrapped up math in session 1 of STEM MCAS this past week for 6th and 7th graders. MCAS is finished for the year. FBMS track kicked off the season against Whitman Hanson with fantastic performances. We had some state qualifiers, first place finishers, and a great team effort overall. The 8th grade cluster, the Navigators, completed their annual community service project. The students cleaned up trash, put up new fencing, secured old fencing, cleaned up brush, and put down the mowing mats at Rexham Beach. And this past weekend, our FEMS Theater Club brought home the gold in the state festival performance of Romeo and Juliet. Congratulations to the club and Mrs. Shanahan.
Brooklyn Middle School. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Fantastic, yeah.
That's great.
And then for our elementary schools, each elementary schools have started their MCAS testing, with the 3rd grade starting their first day of math testing yesterday and have their second day of testing today. This Thursday and Friday, the 5th grade will also have their 2 days of MCAS testing for STEM. Each of the schools will also be having parent-teacher conferences tomorrow night on the 14th. There are a lot of field trips this month, which each of the schools heading to some memorable locations, such as the Museum of Science or the Winslow House. For school events, Daniel Webster is having an art show on the 22nd, and Amesway's 3rd grade will be having their poetry festival on the 22nd and 23rd for both other students and families. Additionally, over the next couple of weeks, the FBMS staff, including the principal and some people from guidance, will be visiting each of the elementary schools to kind of give the 5th graders a little presentation on what to expect when they're coming up to middle school next year.
Love it.
That's great. Yeah, that's a big transition.
Yeah.
That's something that we always talk about. That's probably something. Did you guys both go to elementary school in Marshfield?
Yeah.
You did. Was that the
It was-
biggest transition for you?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird year too, because it was like right around COVID.
It's a weird time.
Sure was.
2020 was 5th grade for us, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a tour of the middle school around Furnace-Brook. We had to, like, each of our tour groups had to be like 6 feet apart
Oh
from
my
everybody
gosh.
else. So we were
Yeah.
like stations through the middle school.
I know, what a wild time that
Yeah.
was. Yeah, we're all
It was
happy
great.
it's over. Thank you guys so much. It's great
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. If you guys don't mind, we'll move the informational to the end and we'll do MEF first. Is that okay?
Sure.
Awesome. All right, take it away.
Well, thank you everyone for having us out here today. I just wanted to give you guys an update on how MEF did this year as far as the 15th year anniversary of the race was a big celebration for us. It really came together well. The weather's everything. As you guys know, when you hold an event like this, the weather makes it. This is 2 years in a row since I've been president that we've had excellent weather. So, we're seeing about, 3,000 to 5,000 people down there between participants and families, community, people from other communities. This year being the 15th anniversary, we saw over 200 grants awarded in the 15-year history of the event. And also over $1.4 million raised. So this year was excellent. It was our best year yet at $109,000 that we raised for the foundation. All that goes back to you guys, the schools, the teachers. Last night we held our annual grant ceremony where we awarded the grant awardees for the year. I'm going to have our grant chair speak about that.
Yeah, we should mention this is Steve Dion,
Oh,
president,
Steve Dion.
and had to talk, I would eventually had to talk.
That might help.
So I'm Heather Tucker. I am the vice president and I'm also the grant chair, and I've been on MEF since 2017, I think, so I've been here for quite some time. We were really excited when we go to each of the schools and we talk about the grant process. And, we've said, we have money, please come, put it out there. I explained it's not much different than a lesson plan. It shouldn't be that scary to try and do the grant application. And we actually received 29 grants with a request of $226,990.93. And through the grant committee, what we do is we use the rubric and the applications that have been vetted through the leadership teams. And we take about 4 hours. So we all do the work ahead of time, read the grants, for the grants, and then just our discussion alone on what we're approving is about 4 hours. And we go back and forth. There's a team that we do this, and we identified 22 grants that we are awarding $151,732 back to the schools, which is super awesome. It's great to see the long stretch of like the grants. At the ceremony, we, for approximately $10,000, Hobart Mixer for the culinary arts in high school. She was like, so do I give you the invoice? Is it really? But I love the passion. We love what we saw to be able to support either new recorders at the 3rd grade for the district. From what we understand, they're going to be better for everybody to experience. But there's, anything big and small that we've been able to do. So we're really excited. I left you all with one of our grant ceremony pamphlets that just summarizes some of the grants that we have put through. There was a wide range, anything from trying to build, school to career readiness to support literacy. We just really appreciate the teachers coming in strong with really well-written grants. It was awesome this year. It was great to score, and we're just so pleased to be able to partner with you folks and all of the teachers for the benefit of all of our students. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry I didn't introduce you. You guys are rock stars and I already know your names. So I assume that everybody else does too, but for the people at home, yeah. But you guys are unbelievable. You're so dedicated. You're so passionate. This has been around for, how many years has it been? 15? Okay, so this is 15 years, yeah. It's amazing to watch, and I know that from talking to people from other towns, no other town has this type of organization like we do here in Marshfield, and it's just a testament to you guys and how much you care about the town. And there's so many awesome people here in Marshfield that do so many great things, and thank you for stepping up and in being excited about education. I feel like this is like, these are the things that rope people back in, as I like to say. Not everything is staring at a book all the time, and these are the types of things that capture kids and capture, maybe teachers are tired, and it gets them excited about doing something new, and is a new opportunity for people all the time. So I really appreciate that.
And we had a lovely ceremony last afternoon.
Yeah.
At the new, what is it, 290?
291 Ocean Street.
291
yeah.
Ocean Street. Thank you, 291 Ocean Street, for hosting it. And they presented us with a check for $151,678.12, which I believe is the biggest grant.
You should-
I have a picture of it if you dare go to that presentation.
Oh, okay. Let's give it a whirl.
Give it a try. There it is.
Oh, right here?
Yeah. Just go to present slideshow.
No, it's a touch screen, Pat. All right, here we go.
Keep going. Just gotta go through it. Keep going, those are the blank ones.
Oops.
That was the technical issues, you're gonna get to it in a second. There
Yay!
you go.
Oh, that's amazing.
As you can see.
And just to note, I acknowledge Sue Robinson has been on the grant committee for many, many years. This was her last ceremony, as was Marie Kerman, who Marie touches so many wonderful things here in Marshfield. I feel like we'd be remiss to not just acknowledge all of the hard work and dedication that Marie has given to all of us as part of the grant committee, part of MEF, and it's bittersweet for this being her last grant ceremony. So
She's been a true mentor to so many of us in the program. It's amazing. She's got this institutional knowledge. And I mean, as we recognized her last night and we said, you'll be missed, she's like, I'm not going anywhere.
I was going to say, she's not
It's so
going
hard to
anywhere.
step away. Like, it's such a good organization that even John DeBerti, like he said to me that, when he moved along, he was going to kind of wean off it a little bit. He's there. I talked to him.
but it's important to recognize all of the people who have, helped to support and to grow the organization. So we're thankful to them.
Tom Miller specifically,
Absolutely.
for being the MC for the race day and making everything on race day come together all at once.
I know, have you been on that race committee since the beginning? Yeah?
Yeah,
Go, Mr. Miller. Did
he
you guys
started
run
it
that?
10 years even before that.
I don't know what I can add. I mean, I could go on for hours about them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Oh, sorry, I did one.
apparently I am.
I was saying go on for hours. I was just gonna say, my favorite part, being at the thing yesterday, really highlights it is this validates the passion that our educators have, and like to write the grants, to have the ideas of how to improve things, and it's just, I think it's so validating for the educators that go above and beyond. I love it. So thank you.
That's what makes it easy for us to do the work, because we know the teachers are putting in the work on their end, so we're happy to do it. So, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it's inspiring. If you go to the next slide, you can see just a big focus on the.
Yeah.
No, I think we didn't have it on the agenda, so we'll have to put that on the agenda to accept that.
Yeah, for sure.
At a different time.
Absolutely.
But we can
Well, I'll take it if you guys want.
informally accept it, and thank you for all the work you've done. It's truly an impressive foundation.
It really is.
Like unrivaled, really. I mean, the way you bring people together. So thank you to you and to all who helped with this grant process. It's great.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.
Lots of problems.
You got the big check.
I have the big test.
Rich.
I don't know what
Alrighty.
Is that two?
It looks like we don't have any members of the public, so we're gonna skip that. Let's go into our new business here, our school improvement plan and program of studies changes.
Yes, and so I've invited Principal Casey from the middle school and, of course, Principal Sender from the high school. And this is sort of a two-parter. I talked to Chairman Costello, and because we have a second-year principal and a first-year principal really working with their councils on their handbooks, I had asked to put the handbooks on for the summer, because we do need to have that approved before school starts. So, because they're doing a deeper dive into that. Also with that, every single school council has done its own survey, mainly on family engagement, but also some staff information as well. And they, both Principal Center and Principal Casey will present an overview of that when they present the handbook. So today is just about the school improvement plan. I know you have it in your packet. And you'll notice some repetition from what we saw a few months ago, because some of these plans are multi-year plans, 2-year plans, which makes sense. But I guess I'll have Principal Center present first, and then I'll move over to Principal Casey, only because she's more forward in the seating arrangement than you.
Sorry, I came directly from the art and tech fair, and I have to use my personal memory device, which is my phone, to bring a copy. So the goals that we set for Marshfield High School were lofty in nature and multi-year. And so you'll notice in the goals that we have identified, there's really not much change to it. The document itself just updated to some data relative to 24-25 with regards to our school demographics as well as our MCAS data, but other than that, the goals are relatively familiar. So the first goal is that the school will successfully implement a flex block, what's known as a win block in the other, at the other levels. The idea of implementing the flex block was a direct result of getting feedback during our NEASC visit regarding a need for the guidance counselors to have structured time during the school day to implement their own curriculum, gives them an opportunity to meet with students in small groups and large groups, but also aligns with our district goal around MTSS and providing supports for students during the school day as well. So tiered supports for students, it would provide a time during the school day where students could seek help from other teachers and guidance could implement this program. So this started mid-year of last year. We are implementing and moving forward with the implementation this coming year, so that's why it's a continued goal, because it was to develop it and implement it. So that was the first goal. The second goal is the same, that we would be examining our current building schedule to determine if it's meeting our needs as intended, and really maximizing the student learning, teaching and learning at Marshfield High School. So we did develop a scheduling committee last year. That scheduling committee has worked tirelessly through this year as well. So it's been about a year and a half that we've been working on the scheduling committee. The goal of the scheduling committee was by the end of this year that they would identify a couple of schedules that we would land on so that we could continue the work next year. So this is, again, a multi-year plan. We've looked at a variety of schedules. We've gotten feedback from local schools in the community. We've received feedback from students and our teachers along the way. And again, we have a comprehensive high school with a lot of unique programming, so taking all of that into account is the result of the multi-year goal. So we still have a little work to do with that in the coming year. And then finally, the third goal that we identified was relative to curriculum and instruction, and ensuring that our curriculum was aligned with the MAS frameworks, and that there was that our curriculum, even in terms of like receiving, articulating with the middle school and high school and continuing that work. Again, that was feedback also from the NEAS visit, where when they came in the spring of 2023, it was determined that we had done some work, but that we had, we still needed some work to do around that. So that's why we've identified time during professional development, common time after school and department meetings to continue that work. So again, that's a multi-year goal, because it's actually a never-ending goal to continuously revise and update our curriculum, but we want to make sure that we have horizontal alignment as well as vertical articulation as well. So those are our 3 goals. Any questions?
We'll take a vote on both of them at the end. But you'll notice we have common templates now moving forward and common information in them.
Yeah, we reviewed that with our school council as well. Just the change, and talked about how it would be familiar from building to building, which is nice.
Okay.
Thank you. Principal Casey. Unless you had any questions for Principal Sender. Principal Casey? Thank you.
So we are in a little bit of a different position with our school improvement plan, where I obviously came in at the beginning of this school year, had to form up the school council, and we determined that we needed to make some revisions to the school improvement plan that had initially been proposed last spring or early summer. So we brought to you in January a version of the school improvement plan that we were supposed to be implementing this year. And I think 3 months have passed. So with the school council, we took some of the goals because there were parts of them that we'd already met them. So we revised some of the goals. We tried to make it a little bit more concise. So to point out a few things to you, we have 3 goals, which is fewer goals than we had before. We actually had goals aligned to the pillars before. So we've made them a little bit more concise in that we've combined them under fewer goals. And actually the data hasn't changed from last time you saw it either, so that all of that is the same. That first goal in the equity, belonging, and wellness category is throughout the 2025-26 school year. By both creating new structures and enhancing existing structures, FBMS will foster a supportive school environment for all students. So, and we have 3 kind of key actions underneath that, that we are forming our belonging team, which is modeled after the belonging team that we have at the district level. We likely actually will be implementing at the end of this year just to get it off the ground. So this will actually start a little bit before that, but it won't become its full team until next year. We, as the school council, we've already done the analysis because our old goal was about data analysis with the YRBS data. We'd actually already done that, so we changed that goal a little bit so that it's now identifying some more actionable steps to address data-driven needs. And our first this new step actually relates to a program of studies change that we're implementing, a new sixth grade Healthy Connections course. I can talk to you a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes, but to address some of what we saw in the YRBS data, specific to students needing to be able to identify an adult that they felt comfortable with in the building. I mean, we've seen that for years, that trend with, elementary, it seems pretty consistent, and then there's kind of this dip in middle school, and then it goes back up, toward 11th grade. So trying to figure out how we might try to address that specifically with our sixth graders, and we had the opportunity to do it for next year, so we're part of the way through, actually developing that curriculum, and it looks like it'll be a good thing. And then the other is a continuation of something that we'd already talked about, which is creating opportunities for our students to participate as leaders, whether it's through existing leadership groups or developing new opportunities for them to be involved with decision-making for next year. We're lucky enough, we're going to be able to get our junior ambassadors off the ground this spring, well, this early summer, I guess we're in now. And then just having opportunities for them to meet with me. I did a student survey, and there was not a lot of interest in being on an official advisory council with the principal with middle school kids, and I kind of, we talked about it with school council as to why that might be, that middle school kids seeing anything with the word council can be an intimidating thing, so we're going to use this as kind of our inroads of I'll go to the individual clubs that already exist and ask the same questions, and then we can maybe move from there. Next goal is the teaching, learning, and leading. The first action is just that we need to update our curriculum maps for some of the new curricula that have been rolled out over the last few years, make sure they're streamlined so we can post those to the website, make sure everything's up to date. And then revising our SST and our CST processes, which essentially it's our multi-tiered system of support, which really is tied into a lot of different things. And if we can streamline that process, it will benefit the entire school and our students' experience and how they have access to different supports within the building. And then the very last is that community engagement and communications. And that's that during the 2025-26 school year, FBMS will assess data collected from stakeholders and examine new opportunities for community engagement. So the school council, we actually met at 4:30 today, and I think we have now finalized what we want for our survey going out to families. So we'll be able to collect that data and look at that in the fall with a really targeted eye that we're looking to improve communication and engagement. We had a lot of conversation about the website and the difference between what you see on the app and the website that I hadn't thought of. So all very good things for us to think about. And then that last action is that we're hoping, and this is, this is an evolved goal. Initially, we were just looking at creating kind of a plan, but I think we're in a position with some support from our school council of developing some kind of a community language education opportunity. It might just be like a 6-week enrichment type course, but for Portuguese language. And what we want to do is offer it to potentially staff and students, and then there was also the idea that we should open it up to the community, so tying that in with the public library and seeing what we can do, because other districts are doing something similar. And I think it's an opportunity to just,
Fits well
kind of
within
get
the
into it.
belonging too, for that.
Yeah. So, and that is where we landed with Furnace Brook.
Super. Any questions for Principal Casey? I did ask Principal Casey to present to you a change. She had a change in her program of studies. If you recall, we did hear Principal Sentner's program of studies. We don't have to formally approve that, but it's good for the school committee to be aware of it, where you do have to take formal votes by policy on school improvement plans and handbooks. But I'd let Principal Casey talk about that change.
So the reasoning for making this change is twofold. One is that we won't have our project-based math course running next year, which has been a 6th grade course. It's a half-year course that's been running for several years now. We won't be offering that next year. So combining what we found from the YRBS data, some of what the school council had already kind of brought up as a concern and something they were hoping that we'd be able to look at, we were able to, within our existing staffing, we think, find a way that we can offer this sixth grade Healthy Belongings class. The title of it has shifted a couple times. On one document, the department had said they wanted it to be connections, and then there was the belonging, and they have this idea of it being a honeybee theme, which I thought was cute, a hive. But ultimately, the goal is that our sixth grade students will, work on identifying people in the building that they can connect with. How do they seek people out? How do they communicate with people that might be able to support them? Ideally, we're hoping we can get all of our sixth graders into that course in the first half of the year. It does become a little bit of a scheduling snafu in that book was project-based math actually ran throughout the year, so it was half the class and then half the class. So we're trying to figure out how we could ideally have everyone take the Healthy Connections class in the first half of the year, and then they'll take their sixth grade health course, which will continue to run different content in the second half of the year, but I'm not sure that we're going to be able to pull that off, but we're trying. That's what we're looking at right now.
What is being presented to the staff as part of that? What does this look like for them? Because you're talking a lot about the students and them identifying someone, and I think that especially a sixth grader might have a hard time identifying someone that's good for them. So I'm just curious about what your plan is for that.
I think it's hard to, I guess it is helping the staff to understand what we're asking of the students in terms of what the curriculum is asking. But I would say that it's hard because we're trying to adjust a feeling, which is data-wise, feelings are difficult, we know that, right? So we're looking at the feeling of whether or not the students feel connected or not, and trying to figure out how we're going to target changing that feeling. So I don't necessarily know what we want from the staff side besides making sure they're aware that, they're already aware of that data. I think we've talked about this for 5 years, that, there's this kind of gap in the YRBS connection that kids feel with staff.
We may
So
be
I
able to
actually don't know
Because
what we could do with staff.
one of the things that we're absolutely going to do next year as a district is really set a foundation for our social emotional learning, and part of that is feeling connected, being socially aware. So we'll be doing that really district-wide, looking at that too, like who do people feel comfortable going to?
Yeah.
So that'll help with that as well.
Yeah. But I definitely can reflect on it, but I have not
Yeah,
had
I'm not
conversations
expecting you to
about,
have the answer off the top of your head, but
honestly,
I
about what
would
we
like
change for
to
staff
talk about that maybe
other
at
than
some
having
point.
them aware of it.
Yeah, because I feel like it's more than being just aware. They
Yeah.
need to have buy-in into this idea that they're going to be approached by students.
Oh, you mean so whether or not they're going to be supported?
Like, are you
that kind of-
approachable?
Oh, okay.
Is
Yeah.
really my concern.
Yep. No. Yeah, because it'll make. It really is very important for the sixth grade. It makes the entire experience.
It'll make
better.
or break their
Yep.
their experience. So, thank you. Anybody else?
Great, all right. So we do need a vote on the, however you want to do it. We need a vote on the 2 school improvement plans.
Okay. Do you want to vote on? We can vote on them together or
I think
separately.
you vote on them individually, just so we have.
The two separate items.
Okay. Okay, so we need a motion to accept the 2025-2026 FBMS School Improvement Plan and Program of Studies changes. What?
We approve things
I-
as opposed to accept.
Oh, I'm sorry, approve. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Go ahead, Rich, you want to say the second one?
Which one did we just do?
Oh, I don't know. Look at the agenda.
Oh, we'll do high school.
We're doing high
Yeah,
school.
I didn't, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, motion to approve the high school improvement plan.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, have a nice evening.
Thank you guys so
All right,
much.
I'm gonna go back there.
Yeah, get back to the fair,
Yeah.
exactly.
Go out and see lacrosse.
Right.
What's that?
Go out and see.
I was at lacrosse at the beginning, but
Is something, what's happening out there?
They're gonna win?
Elaine?
Yeah.
Update us
Lacrosse,
all.
softball,
Now it's like, it's
softball
been
one.
going back and forth.
Are
Oh,
you gonna be around for?
Now we're
yeah,
running.
we're going to the tech fair.
Right, I'm just gonna
It's
catch
senior
up with
night on
you.
Thursday, right?
For
I gotta catch
lacrosse.
up with you before you leave.
Senior night's Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday, okay.
Track senior day is Thursday.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
all right, let's see. Last, it looks like, well, we have some minutes and stuff, but let's do the district conference calendar.
Yes, I'm gonna let Dr. Martin talk about that a little bit. I know she worked diligently with our union to get that organized. So, Dr. Martin?
Yes, so Joni actually does a lot with this as well, so it's like putting puzzle pieces together. So we have to, the way that we start it is we kind of do a skeleton based on the prior year, but we also take feedback into consideration. So for example, staff absolutely cannot stand Monday night conferences, but when you get to the conferences, we try to have middle school and high school on opposite nights, and then you have to have elementary on a different week than those two schools, plus you have to have elementary on a different week than afternoon conferences, so it gets very kind of tricky. But we have, you know, your 10 early release days for middle and high school, and then every Wednesday early release for elementary. 2 of those a month have to be planning. And then we stick in holidays and our full PD day, which is on November 4th next year. And then we kind of look at it as a leadership team. We share it with the MEA. They come back with questions, suggestions, and then take it back to the leadership team and then finalize it and bring it here. So that's where we are. I don't know if you have any questions or.
You have any?
Did you have a question?
I do, yeah. I see a few months where we have 2 district-wide early release days.
Mm-hmm. So what happens is a couple of those have to be back-to-back because of conferences, the ones in the spring, so there's 2 back-to-back. The ones in March, they generally have been 2 in March because March is the longest month with no holidays. So the other thing you have to look at is how holidays land. So for example, if you go in November, there's no early release days in November for middle and high school because we have a full day on the 4th, and then there's a holiday on the 11th, and there's Thanksgiving break. So some months are going to need to, because if you look at November, it just didn't make sense to put a PD afternoon in there because it was so choppy. So we try and spread them out accordingly. Yeah, so I think March is that the only month that has 2? Well, October does.
October, right?
Yeah.
There's a conference.
So so early release, district-wide, you do PD?
That's what we aim for, but sometimes elementary has planning on that afternoon because they have PD presentations or facilitators on a different afternoon, and you need 2 planning a month for elementary. So, but secondary, yes, on those afternoons, they would have professional development, except where it says conferences. Then they have to have conferences in the
Right.
spring.
So we have a whole separate day for PD also.
Yes,
Cool.
that was new. This past year was our second one. That was negotiated,
Okay.
the last contract.
Oh, yeah, right, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we monitoring that? Is there a 100% attendance requirement?
Oh, yes, otherwise they have to
Because I remember back in the,
call in sick.
back when my father was teaching, it was a boondoggle, you know, it was a day off and all this.
No.
No,
definitely
no,
not.
we actually have very good attendance. And
Felt the other
Amy McAlpine has started, so every time a professional development session takes place, in order to get your PDPs, you also have to do a feedback form and a reflection. And what she does with those then is she takes all of that information, uses AI tools to come up with kind of a summary of the day, and the feedback for each session. So she would come up with the, the positives, the ways that we can improve, and then she bases all of the planning moving forward on that feedback. So,
Right, she did that, she did a presentation at one of our last
Yep.
meetings, yeah.
Right.
And share all that, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so, but I would say we have pretty good attendance compared to some other places.
Yeah. So just a couple of questions on this. So now, I'm not going to count all of the days, but you have 180 days that the students attend.
Mhm.
And the-
I counted them all 10
Yep.
times.
Yep, and so did MEA. MEA always counts.
Oh, yeah. So in this calendar, there's a total of 182 days, is that correct?
Well, yes, because you have the teacher orientation on September 2nd, and then you have the November 4th.
The full day professional development.
But the
Yeah.
days
But
that I write up there, so like next to each month is a number of days, those are the student days.
Yeah,
If you, yeah.
So
So
like
the
20
teachers would
days.
have 182.
The 182 days, again, as Dr. Ron said, the first day, which
Oh,
is,
yeah. Yeah, the day before school and then
Then, right,
80 days.
yeah.
It was just a question.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
But it-
So you
whenever-
counted those?
If you,
Yeah.
yes, but if you were
Which
to
one?
add up, like each month says the number of days beside it, if you were to add up those, you'll get 180.
It's like math, it's after 5.
yes, says the mathematician.
I've been doing math all day, my brain's burnt out. All right, thank you.
Is September 2nd a holiday?
No,
Oh,
it's blued out because
Teacher.
teacher orientation, so students don't have school. So it's still a vacation day for them, it's not.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make
I was just
sense?
confused by that. I didn't
Yeah.
understand what that was. My other question, I think I ask this every year, but October 13th, do we call it Columbus Day or do we call it Indigenous Peoples Day?
Columbus.
So,
I didn't ask you.
it can only be called Indigenous Peoples' Day, it can only be changed by the school committee can do that. You can do
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay. Is there some state thing?
Yeah.
I just,
I think
a couple people have asked me, so I just want to know what
So
it
in the
is.
past, when this was brought up,
Yeah.
it was that the state of Massachusetts has not made that change.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
But
All right.
school committees
That's the
are,
answer I was looking for.
school committees are an authority that could do that. In Cohasset, they did that.
Okay.
They decided to.
You
No.
can name it whatever you want, or does it have to be?
You can name it whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, they do have the jurisdiction to do that
Okay.
for a school committee.
Okay. But that's the state of Massachusetts calls it Columbus Day. Okay.
And I know you didn't ask me.
Separate you two.
But the teacher's
Yeah.
contract, it does say that, as well as Christmas vacation.
It says Columbus Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Christmas vacation.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. I think I want to make sure that Sean and Kendra have had a chance to look this over. Were you looking for us to do something with this tonight?
No.
We don't. Okay.
I
This is-
mean, you can, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
It's a first
perfect.
read, so.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
It's a good call.
What's a good call?
First read.
Oh. Just making sure. All right. So I think we can go into informational.
Yeah, if you go back to that presentation, I can show you a couple other,
Oh, sure.
awesome. Yeah, just maybe hit the slideshow. Oh, that's kind of fun.
Oh, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah,
Oh,
hit
okay.
the, if you don't mind, hit just slideshow.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, just a couple of additional events that happened. That is our play, which was once on this island that the Marshfield High School Theater Group put on. It was fantastic. I got to see Saturday night's show. Just so impressive, and I know that was Mr. Baldwin's last, he's retiring from his 24 years of duty with Marshfield Theater. So they celebrated him at that as well. But the students were amazing, and it was great. Anybody who went really got a feeling for how talented our kids were. So congratulations to Mrs. Scanlon, to everybody who was involved with that. It was a great play.
Awesome.
And then this is just a show, this is Martinson, but as we have the tech and art fair in the gymnasium right now, we also have art fairs happening in all of our schools, all of our elementary schools, and it's wonderful to see. Martinson was last week. It was totally decked out. I went to it and enjoyed it. And looking forward to the shows at the other schools. They do it all a little differently, but they're all pretty wonderful. We also had our theater awards. These are our seniors who are involved with theater, who received our senior recognition. It was a wonderful evening where they recognized, I said music, right?
No, you said theater.
I meant music, I apologize, music department. And we also have the Pops, which are coming up on Saturday, so it's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. But this was great, and they recognized students that have achieved in music, in strings, orchestra, and martial airs, and of course band and jazz band, all of the years. But they obviously focus on our seniors, who are a wonderful group, who we missed very much. That was excellent. And then we, as the community knows, we announced our Wall of Honor ceremony, and you can still buy tickets to it. It's a great event. This is a tradition that's been around for a while now, and it was brought on by members of this committee, and it's fabulous because it honors former educators, leaders, contributors, community contributors to the MEF who have retired for a few years and are now eligible to be recognized. We do, unless you never worked here and then you can be recognized at any time, but we do have some contributors recognized this year as well as educators. But Wednesday, May 28th at 6 p.m. at 291 Ocean Street, again, formerly Had Ads. Eventually we'll be able to drop the formerly Had Ads title, but I can't do it quite yet. This year's inductees are amazing. Mr. Richard Devitt, former principal, my principal at South River School when I grew up. Fantastic educator. Mary Ann Evans, many of you know her, a fantastic teacher at Daniel Webster. I guess I could just eliminate the fantastic title because they're all about to be honored in our Wall of Fame. So of course they're all fabulous, and their contributions go way beyond the classroom or the particular event that they helped create, and have really influenced generations of students. We have Mrs. Laurie Higgins, who I worked very closely with at Furnace Brook. Did a great teacher, did a tremendous amount with student council. She was responsible for leading the charge with all of the Rally for the Cure when the Boston Red Sox contest, where we raised many thousands of dollars for cancer research. Did a lot of great things. Ms. Sarah Prouty, former principal at Daniel Webster, but also a very well thought after teacher at Ames Way. Someone who made contributions to 2 school buildings in a major way, and was also a great leader who I had the pleasure of working with, and all of us did in one way or another. And this is a perfect example of an amazing organization, an event that goes back to the 90s now, but we have Miss Janet Gibson and Miss Betsy Hoy, who are co-founders of Grad Night Live. Does it go back to the 90s, or is it early 2000s?
94.
94, okay, yeah. So it's fantastic, and an institution here in Marshfield. I can't wait for this year. Excited to see what they have, but they'll all be honored at that ceremony, and tickets are still available. And you'll see in the newsletter we have tickets available, and there was a district-wide email sent out. Probably send another one just to people who might want to go.
Are they available until the 19th? Is that
Till the 19th.
correct? And you can-
Or it sells out. So-
Okay. And it's on the website if
It
people
is.
want.
It is on the website, yeah.
It is.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Exciting.
Fantastic.
This is our We Are Marshfield. Just try clicking on it for a second, just for see if this works.
Oh.
To do is save hundreds with Liberty
Yeah.
Mutual customizes your
So
card.
once you get to the end,
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop digging into the green?
I can ask. But he's not going to. Only pay.
just let it be able to see this Liberty commercial.
We're at Sewing Seeds organizing clothes for the clothing drive. Sewing Seeds is a clothing drive and people can come once a month to get clothes that they can't afford. We're at Martinson and we're doing outdoor cleaning and indoor pickup.
So today we are at the library, Marshfield main library. So we having fun and just helping out the community, which is a good thing to always do it.
We're at South River, we're pulling mowing weeds. Really happy to be here, having a good time.
Garden.
Yeah.
Done paint inside a little.
We work hard.
I'm glad to be here. It's a good time.
Love we are Marshfield. Yeah.
I have a group here volunteering at the animal shelter right now. This has always been a big part of our community. Today, we're helping paint and clean up some of the old trucks that they use, and we're breaking down some of the old equipment that they don't need anymore.
I think that this project has really helped my grade come together as seniors, and I think that's really awesome.
We're at the JPH organization today. We're cleaning the pool and cleaning all these leaves. I used to go here as a kid. I've spent all of my summers here, so it's really great to be back and help out.
We're helping out the campers for the summer, so we're breaking up all the leaves and then trying to get prepared for the summertime. The importance of doing community service is it brings together a whole group in our class as seniors, and go 2025, let's go.
It's nice to know how much we're giving back to our community, especially getting so close to graduation. It's nice to be able to give back.
It's just awesome to have the high school kids here helping with We Are Marshfield Day. Every year, they're super helpful. They help us clean up parks, playgrounds. This year, you can see we're cleaning up the recreation storage equipment, and we got quite a mess, so we got some work to do today, but I really appreciate the help from all of the high school students each and every year. They do a great job for the community.
Work for kids with cancer and other life-threatening issues. It's pretty much just my mom and I here. This place needs a lot of work.
Former student?
And we only do so much. Groups like today, you guys probably saved us weeks of work. They've been sifting the soil, filling the boxes, because we got potatoes that we're planting, moving stuff around. We have some heavy things that my mom and I can't exactly lift, so the guys moved that for us.
This is the Cliff Rogers Free Library. It's in North Marshfield. It's an organization that's existed for over 120 years.
This is our 128th year. We consider it a local treasure.
But because it's a completely volunteer-run organization, there are so many different things that they needed to have done here. So these kids cleaned out the basement, they raked all the leaves, they did a lot of work outside, they washed all the windows, they cleaned up the sign out front. It's really important for these kids to realize how important it is to give back to the community, and I think they're recognizing that today with all the great work they've been doing.
I was here at North Community Church raking leaves.
We really count on you guys. It's amazing. This program is a life-saving program, especially for you get churches that are a lot of old people. Some of the stuff is lighter work, but the heavy stuff, it's great to have young, strong kids to be able to do stuff.
So today we've been out here at the Trinity Episcopal Church up in North Marshfield. We did a bunch of clearing out of garden beds, leaves and whatnot, and then we mulched the whole property. Especially with us, it's our last year. A lot of us are last year in town. Most of us are going to college. Some of us might come back. A lot of us aren't. So it's a good way to reach out into your community and just get experience out in your community. Meet some people you probably haven't before and just give back. This is the town that's raised you, and this town has made you who you are today.
We've been making friends with a bunch of students here, and we did a lot of yard work outside. Really important to connect with our community because we really want to show the younger generations how great the school is and what it's like to be a senior.
I think it's one of the finest things that we can do as a community to give back, especially to those who are in need. And this is a hands-on kind of approach, and both sides benefit.
A lot of the senior citizens who were helping out, their family has moved away and they don't really get people to help them out in their house like this, so it feels really nice to make their home look pretty. Yeah. We are raking leaves, picking up sticks, cleaning up just literally anything around the yard basically that you need help with. Today at the Winslow House, we went around, we dusted all the ceilings, we were able to help clean out the cabinets, and we went around and cleaned all the wood appliances. We helped move furniture, and we were just helping clean up the area. Today we get to just give back to the community for what they've given to us. Like we were at Winslow House today, so we just gotta be at a house and clean it. That started at Marshfield. So once we arrived, we were assigned to start weeding the mulch beds over there, and also
They really were.
weeds out of the shrubs. Once we completed that, we loaded the mulch into the wheelbarrows, and then we brought them over and put it into the mulch bed over there by the plants.
I think it's great. I mean, the WAMP is a super project for the town of Marshfield. It speaks volumes to the type of kids that we have here in Marshfield.
This is a wonderful event. It's so good to see the kids here give back to the community. As a parent, we did make sure our kids did this type of thing, and it's a wonderful event, and we thank you very much for doing that for us.
Today we're at Rexon Beach, and we put down all like the mats on the beach, we raked to make sure all the rocks are under it, and we laid them down so people wheelchairs and like strollers to get on the beach. It means a lot to me, especially since I went here for elementary school and since they kind of helped me grow up. So it's good to give back and help out around the school.
They've given us a lot, like when we were growing up, so to give them back is really important.
So today my group was at the Boys and Girls Club. We were weeding the garden, we were weeding around a lot of the other areas and just picking up trash. We were helping them get excited and ready for summer, and we even got to see the splash pad go on, so we're getting ready for summer with them.
To me, it's really important to be here and doing this because it's fun to give back to the community. I came here to the Boys and Girls Club as a kid, so it's really special getting to walk around and see how everything has changed. And I've also gotten to know somebody who I haven't really gotten to know throughout high school. I've been talking to her a lot today, and it's been really insightful, and it makes me very excited for the future, but also very appreciative of what I've had here in Marshfield.
There you go. Thought that would make you feel good too, just to remember what a...
A vacation with Norwegian Cruise
We're
Line
done,
is
we're
so
done with
much
that.
more because there's more to it.
Who wants to watch TV?
There you go.
Vacation.
Yeah, if you just go back to the presentation.
Vacations.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, just click on the K to, there you go. Nope.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And that's the whole group. So it was an amazing thing. It was it's a wonderful event. And actually, if you go to the next slide, and I do want to thank obviously Joni and Marie Kerman for their amazing work. And I should say it's Joni's birthday tomorrow. So
Oh, happy birthday, Joni.
But really, talk about making a difference. You know, they made a huge difference. But everybody that's part of that, including the people at this table, made a huge difference. So it was great. It was a great event. And I think that's it. I think almost. Yep.
Nope, that's it.
All right.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Pazerski.
Thanks for volunteering.
That was actually my first year. I've never done it before, and that was my first year, and I really enjoyed it. I had the group at Trinity Church, and they were awesome. It was really cool. I had one thing that, if you don't mind, that I add. On Thursday, the 29th, is the internship program showcase. And it was fun for me at WAMP because I had 3 of the interns in my group. So I was doing double duty that day. I was able to talk to them about their internships and also got to spend some time getting to know them. So that was really good. So the internship showcase is the 29th, 5 to 7 in the cafeteria. This year we had 30 students that participated in the program. It's awesome. I did some site visits today. It was great. Yeah, lots of positive stuff. So if you guys are able to make it, it is open to the public. The kids do an awesome job. They do presentation boards, and there are presentations too that if you guys are ever, I know Ellen, I think you came last year to a couple of the presentations. If you're able to make those, it's really fun to listen to them talk.
We can talk even more about that on the 27th.
Yeah, we definitely can. Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
Awesome.
So I think we had, I don't know if you have other updates.
Yep, we do. Dr. Martin, did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So Martinson Elementary School, their grade 1 are going to be famous soon. Chronicle came and filmed a couple of our teachers who have created a partnership with Proprietors Green. I'm trying to think of how many years it's been.
My kids are first year, and Tyler's here, right? Julie's first.
Julie did it, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Julie, Tyler's here.
So it's a
So
lot
they're
of
juniors
years.
this year.
Yeah. My kids were in first grade when COVID,
Oh,
so they missed it.
cute.
But it was really great to see them recognized, and the seniors that came over were fantastic. So we don't have a date yet that it's airing, but that was really a great experience for them. Yesterday, our grade 6 ELA teachers and our curriculum coordinator at the middle school went to Governor Winslow to see grade 5 teach a new literacy lesson with our new program so that they are more aware of what students are going to be coming up with. We had some really great conversations and some work that came out of it of trying to make sure that elementary and middle school are using the same language, things like that. So we have next steps for that. And then we're already planning for our summer curriculum work. We're already planning for PD next year. So yeah, it never stops.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I don't.
Mrs. Scalaro?
Okay, I just want to give you a brief update on the dyslexia committee. So throughout this school year, across disciplinary group, comprised of general ed and special ed teachers, reading specialists, multisensory reading tutors, school psychologists, literacy coaches, principals, the director of EL, Dr. Martin and me, have been working to establish clear and consistent district-wide practices for identifying and supporting and monitoring students with dyslexia. So the committee's goals are creating common protocols for dyslexia identification, defining intervention pathways both through general education and special education, because we do so many things to support all students through general ed and then sometimes through special ed, establishing systems for progress monitoring. So the team has made excellent progress developing draft protocols and outlining training materials for building-based teams. These resources are designed to help schools interpret evaluation data in a consistent way and select appropriate interventions. So the committee is going to meet again next week to finalize training slides and work through case studies in building-based groups to practice applying the protocols that we've developed, and then full implementation and staff training will follow. So this is really all about ensuring consistent and equitable support for all students across the district. So that's exciting. And ESL updates from Kate Lyons-Maylou. So ESL also has a TFM, tiered focus monitoring, and all progress updates have been accepted and approved for that through DESE. So that's good news for Kate. And then there's an LPAC meeting on May 19th at 6:30 at the Ventress Library, where they will review the access score reports, and also members of the Belonging Committee will attend meetings and connect with families, I believe. And then my last thing is just to recognize Colleen Casey, Marshfield High School's special education teacher and transition specialist, for her work with CPAC to bring a fabulous presentation by the Ross Center at UMass Boston to Marshfield High School students and families at a CPAC meeting I think it was last week. Disability services and post-secondary education. It was such a highly informative and practical presentation that highlighted that precisely for students what they need to do to advocate for themselves after high school, so when they go to college, to ensure that they receive all of the reasonable accommodations that they're going to need for success. The presenter was wonderful, and she focused on the differences between services and accommodations provided at the high school level, and then the services and accommodations provided at the college level, because there's a difference between IDEA and the ADA. So, but anyway, you could see on the faces of the students and the parents present the appreciation for the presentation, and also the sense of relief in knowing that when they leave the care and support of the Marshfield Public Schools, there's an office, whatever school or where they go, filled with caring people who are there and ready to assist. So that was very cool. An excellent presentation. That's it.
That's great.
Yes. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes. Mr. Miller.
A couple quick notes. As you know, annual town meeting will reconvene on June 2nd, addressing the financial items in the warrant. Dr. Sullivan and I met with the interim TA, Peter Morin, last Tuesday, along with his financial team, at a very productive meeting. We were informed as how he was going to address the item for South Shore vocational that was left off the warrant. The good news is that none of the items addressing that will impact the district budget. On the warrant, there will be 3 separate items addressing the South Shore assessment, the $710,000, the South Shore stabilization, which is approximately $40,000, 38 and change, and then we are going to break out the Norfolk agricultural tuition assessment, which is still in our budget, in the school district budget. That is approximately $94,000 for 3 students, and we carry that in our budget. We were informed this week that another student is going next year, and the potential a couple more. So that's one of those items that really can change, and that's why the budget is so variable on the school side as we progress here. And then transportation, the bus registration deadline is Thursday. As of yesterday afternoon, we still had about 1,700 that hadn't registered, so about half the response rate. And out of the 1,700, 1,000 of them are riding the bus currently. So it'll be interesting. We're gonna close it up and see where we're at, and pull in the students that we by law have to transport, K to 6, 2 miles and over, and work with Topman to establish those routes based upon that group, and then reopen the process, create the wait list, and bring people off as we can fit on capacity wise. But tomorrow will be the 5th email that goes out, so we're doing our best.
How many students do you have left?
Sorry.
How many students do you have left that you are anticipating?
So take up the seniors, there's about 3,400 total students,
Okay.
K to 12 next year, and that's not including the kindergarten. Kindergarten's 248, so it's about 300, just under 3,700 total. We've had, when I run not registered, that's 1,700. So we've had more than 50% approximately. So it's 1,700 still remaining, and then when I can run that list, students that are currently riding the bus, there's about 1,000 there. So that's not a great situation, but we were hopeful we would get a little bit greater response. It's improved a little bit over last year, but it's still not quite where we're at, where we want to be.
Okay. Maybe we can help out with some sharing of that information so we can get people to.
Yeah, as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the only method we've really had this far. I know it's been in the newsletters and it's been via email. You know, we get to the point where our school buildings will reach out to individuals.
Right.
That's where we ended up last year. Yeah, we were hopeful we didn't have to go completely that route, but it just seems like email is just not really capturing.
I had such good feedback with the texts, the district-wide texts.
So-
Texts.
Text.
Texting.
Oh,
That
yes.
we're getting such good feedback with that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Like a text with a
Well,
link
that's a
that
good
it's just so
suggestion.
fast and just
Yeah.
click the link.
Yeah,
Can you do a robocall?
Yeah, 'cause
I could do it.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
I have that on my list for tomorrow.
that's probably, let's do that tomorrow.
I mean, we can only go so far with this, right?
Right.
Right.
You know, people like me that don't read their emails,
Mhm.
right? Shame on me if I don't respond, if I miss it.
Right.
Right, you made every attempt.
Yeah.
Right. I think the texting and maybe
Yeah,
a call would
let's
be
do it.
would be good, so we can.
We'll do a text tomorrow.
Options. And then my only. Oh, go ahead. No, it's okay.
No, I thought
My
you-
only other suggestion would be, if you're still having a hard time, maybe reach out to the townwide PTO group, because they seem to cast a wide net over several groups.
Is it townwide PTO meetings?
Yes, there is
This week?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe mention it there and see if they can.
That's a good mention, yeah.
That's it.
I was gonna say, is this something the transportation subcommittee should be involved with?
In pushing out the information. What questions you have?
Yeah, or just making decisions.
Good idea. Okay, so it looks like we have some minutes, but I'm just gonna, can we wait until next time for those? Is that okay? All right, because I only have one in my drive anyways. Did you guys have any questions for Mr. Miller about the financial stuff that he talked about? Okay. The other thing I just wanted to let everybody know is that the school committee has a policy on reorganizing the first meeting after the election. Congratulations, Mr. Greer, for winning.
Congratulations, team.
Thank you very much. We kept the team together, but we're not going to do that if it's okay with you guys tonight, because you don't have the whole committee here. So we're gonna wait till next time when we have a full crew. If that's, yes? You guys
Oh, yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that? Okay,
definitely.
all right, I just wanted to make sure that we, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Greer. And I think that's it, right?
Yes.
All right, we didn't have any, MEA wasn't here tonight. Any subcommittee reports from you guys? No? Okay. All right, motion to,
Yeah, before we do that, Joni, just a quick thing on the, let's see, meeting minutes, so you can make the change for the next time
Okay.
you review it. 428,
Yep.
you have the next scheduled meeting listed as May 13th at Martinson.
Which at the time was where it was going to be, and then it was changed to here after that. So
Okay.
I did that based on April 28th. That's where the meeting was going to be.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we switched
yeah,
that.
that makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah, because it's on that day.
yeah.
So that, yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved. All in favor? Raise your right hand, signify by and saying aye, and we have to do a roll call.
Yep. Mrs. Jargan?
I'm gonna
Mr. Greer?
Yes. Me and Rich are gonna fight. Yeah.
I'm gonna end up in a pilot.
Return?
Done.
Yes, okay.
All right.
I wasn't trying to share.